All right, so if you're gonna be towing with a 5th generation 4Runner, any kind of travel trailer, anything big enough to need trailer brakes, anything like that, these are 3 things you're gonna need. And just for reference, this is a Coachman Clipper. This is 18 BH. So there's your gross vehicle weight, 4,088 pounds. So dry, this thing's right around 3,400. Loaded, we have it probably just about as close to 4 as you can have it. We just unloaded everything, took everything out, and it was pretty full between sodas, kayaks, food, just everything you would need. So first thing you're gonna need if you're towing is gonna be a weight distribution hitch. And the big thing with this is, one, it distributes the weight from the rear to the front. And while this does help, it doesn't help all the way, right? So I got people walking inside it right now, which is why I have the tongue down. The max tongue weight on a 4Runner is 500 pounds, right? And it is approved to run a weight distribution hitch towed. It did approve it. They passed out a memo for it. But this helps get some of that weight distributed to the front, not all of it. The problem with these 4Runners is they have independent suspension, so springs at all 4 corners. And the problem with that is that these are very soft springs and shocks, so it's made for a comfort ride, not a ride where you're towing around a 4,000 pound camper. So one thing I would recommend changing is going to be the rear springs for, say, the OME or Icon or something to that extent, like a heavier duty spring, where if you have like a bumper, you have a lot of weight, the rack, the rooftop tent, or you have a lot of hitch weight, it helps, you know, alleviate that soft spring ride. And from what I heard, it's not horrible when you're just riding around normal. So that is going to be an upgrade in the future. But weight distribution hitch, back to that, number 1, this helps keep this thing from swaying all over the road. It helps when semi trucks pass you. It helps when you're going 65 miles down the road, which is probably about the speed you're going to want. So number 2, and this is a part I do not recommend, but you need one anyway. You see it's all tied up with 550 cord and a couple zip ties. This is the CURT Bluetooth brake controller, right? Need a brake controller. 4Runner brakes are great at stopping the 4Runner. Not so great at stopping 4,000 pounds behind it. Plus, for the peace of mind and the safety of your family, everybody else on the road around you, you need to have brake controller. This one, like I said, I do not recommend. 4Runners do come pre-wired. I bought this one in a pinch because I didn't have time to order it. It works fine. The problem is, the reason it's all tied up is because the 4Runner design, as you see, is angled down. Not like a standard truck where it's, you know, sideways or straight out, where this would stay in much better. The problem is it goes in at an angle, and then the cord puts weight on it as well, and then it wants to come out. And they provide you this little band, this cheap little band to hold it on, which doesn't work. It broke here, broke a couple places, but the 550, it's really secure, and it made it 3 hours of towing home, no problem. But it has fallen out prior to having this 550 cord. So I'm gonna get the Red Arc or another brake controller, one where I don't have to use my phone as well. That sucks that you have to use your phone when you use this brake controller, but it does work. It's just not ideal, right? Not ideal for long trips, peace of mind, all that stuff. It gives you the ability to use something without having to install anything besides plugging it in, but it just does not work very well on the 5th gen 4Runner because it's sloped down and the band sucks. Other than that, it connected fine, it worked fine, there was no other issues. All right, so the last thing, number 3, is gonna be patience, right? I know that sounds weird to say, but you need patience when you're towing. I'm used to towing with a 99 Ram Cummins diesel, no problems pulling, no problem stopping. This is the same. It doesn't have very many problems towing something this size, but you're not going anywhere fast. You're not going 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. You're going 0 to 60 in 45 seconds. And you need to drive that way. You need to drive like you're driving something that is smaller, towing something, because this thing, while it does handle well when you're driving modestly, I guess you could say, where you're cautious when you're driving, it works really well. The problem is when you start speeding, weaving out traffic, which I don't do, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Have patience, take it slow, and then just let it do its thing. It's gonna go 65 miles an hour easy, and it's gonna drive like it's supposed to, and it's gonna tow like it's supposed to. It's gonna get you where you wanna be. But those 3 things will get you where you wanna go camping. As long as you met all the guidelines for your trailer, you're not going over 5,000 pounds. 4,000 is the safest bet, I would say, just based on setup, 4Runner in this, and then weight distribution hitch, and of course, your brake controller. So, hope this video helps. I'm gonna post a small clip at the end of this, and that's just me pulling this trailer about 60, 65 miles an hour. Show you it's pretty effortless to tow, but like I said, small SUV, bigger camper, wind drag, drive safely. If you got any questions, drop them below. It's a 2022 4Runner towing, 3,500 pound Coachman Clipper. Driving it